Namaskaram and hi everyone. I'm Rasini. Welcome to Antharmugam. This is a very special video because today's video is dedicated to Mahashivratri. Okay, since we are only left with 1 week towards Mahashivratri as I record this video, we're only left with 6 or 7 days. So I thought of sharing with everyone over here to deepen our knowledge about what is Mahashivratri and also how we can prepare ourselves, our mind, our body, our heart towards Mahashivratri in ways where it was applicable to myself, because I think by now you must have known that the things that I share over my YouTube channel over here are based on real life experiences. So I only share what worked for me in hopes that it will work for you as well. So let's go directly into the video looking into what exactly is Mahashivratri. So Mahashivratri, across the Indian culture or tradition, we have seen this day in different aspects. Some say that this is the day Shiva and Shakti became one. Okay. Some say in other terms, that is the day Shiva and Devi Parvati got married. Okay. Some say this is the day Shiva started the Ananda Tandavam, which is the cosmic dance, and it continues until today, which is where creation happens and beginning and endings happen, and the cycle is on and on and on. But what about we hear from Sadhguru to learn how the yogic traditions perceive Mahashivratri? Let's go into it.
Mahashivratri is of both spiritual and scientific significance. Shivaratri means the 14th day of every month, that is one day before Amavasya or the no moon day. There are 12 to 13 Shivaratris in a year. Of all the Shivaratris, the Shivaratri that appears in the month of Magha during February-March is known as the Mahashivratri or the Great Night of Shiva. In the northern hemisphere on this planet, on that day, there is a natural upsurge of energy within the human system. Every life form experiences a certain upsurge of energies within themselves. This upsurge of energies can be truly made use of only by those creatures who have their spine erect. Our fortune of being human is we are the only species here who have graduated to that level of an erect spine. If you look at the evolutionary development of various species, you will notice that moving from invertebrate to vertebrate is one significant step. And another significant step in the evolutionary process is a spine moving from horizontal positions to vertical positions. The true development of the brain happened only after the spine became vertical. As on Mahashivratri night, there is a natural upsurge of energies, keeping the spine vertical throughout the night has immense benefits. It is of great benefit, particularly to those on the spiritual path, but this is also significant for people who are in family situations and also for the ambitious in the world. For those on the spiritual path, for the yogis, this is the day when Shiva transcended all the movement within himself and became utterly, absolutely still. On this day, his third eye opened and his perception blossomed. What we are saying is these two eyes are sense organs. They can show you the physical realities around you. But if you want to see the basis of this reality, if you want to see the subtler reality which is beyond the physicality of nature, if you want to know this, you need another dimension of perception. The dimension of perception, which is beyond the physical, is known as the third eye. So this is the day which facilitates your journey towards the opening of your third eye or a deeper dimension of perception within yourself.
Now we have looked into why Mahashivratri is important for all of us on the planet. Let's look into how we can prepare ourselves towards Mahashivratri. Since this day is a day of awakening, this is the day, our energies, they go up. When it comes to energies going up. It is not just about a momentary experience where, oh, it feels so good, it feels so nice. It's not just about that actually. It is about using this energy for your own inner growth and your own realizations, and overcoming your own limitations, sufferings, and other things that obstruct your growth. I will be introducing you to 5 important steps that was very helpful to me, since I have been celebrating and dedicating myself towards Mahashivratri for the past 6 to 7 years. These 5 steps are something that I have strictly held on to for a very long time. But however, how I perceive these same steps have evolved over time. So firstly, definitely I encourage all of you to please take up the Shivanga Sadhana given by Isha Foundation. So initially this was called as Mahashivratri Sadhana. This year they changed it into Shivanga Sadhana. Shivanga Sadhana is a set of powerful practices that strengthens your spine, your mind and your emotions, so that you're more open and receptive towards the energies of Mahashivratri. And this Shivanga Sadhana is open to all regardless of gender, means men and women both can join the Shivanga Sadhana. So if you look into the website, they have clearly mentioned what are the benefits of this sadhana and how you can do it, how you can prepare for it, how you can receive the initiation, and how you can culminate it regardless of where you are. No matter if you're in the Isha Yoga Center or you're at home, wherever you are. For example, I'm at Malaysia, I'm unable to go to the Isha Yoga Center at Coimbatore, India. I can still you receive the initiation, practice the Shivanga Sadhana daily, and also culminate it at home itself. In my experience over these years with the then called Mahashivratri Sadhana, I couldn't make sense initially of why we have to do the Shiva Namaskaram and all these chants and all that. What does this has got to do with Mahashivratri? Then I realized these 2 things. When I do the sadhana, my lumbar region, which is the spinal cord region where your spine is, okay, it strengthened over time, which means it also helped to reduce my laziness. Okay, whenever I sit erect and I do these practices, it just becomes a constant awareness daily to sit up straight. Whenever you feel like very slumber and very lazy and very lethargic, something just hits your mind to just sit straight. And when you sit straight, and you sit erect like that, you are much more alert about your own feelings and your thoughts and what's happening around you. So this kind of alertness is very important for Mahashivratri, as per what Sadhguru explained just now. And apart from that, somehow this entire Mahashivratri sadhana, then now it's called a Shivanga Sadhana, has a very deep aspect of grace into it. And when you are so devoted into whatever that you do, especially for things that you logically cannot understand them, you open up to a dimension that functions through you effortlessly. That is what we call as grace. Okay, when we do it devotedly, okay, this time I have to do my Shivanga Sadhana, okay, this is the time I take care of my health, I take care of my speech, I take care of what I perceive and all those things. That devotion sets in beyond what you worship. Or it's not about worship, right? At the end of the day, it's not about what you worship and what you look at. It is about you. It is about how you put your guards down and become open to something that is beyond your own logical comprehension. So you will see this living presence or grace becoming a real experience in your life every day. And without grace, you cannot conduct yourself effortlessly. That is true in my life. Okay, and Shivanga Sadhana can actually open up the door for it. Step 2, let's look into observing and being more conscious of the 5 senses, or what we call as the Pancha Indriyas and also the Pancha Bhutas. So as we know, Sadhguru has also mentioned about it actually, that the entire tradition, regardless of the region in the world, has become aware, even science speaks, that the human body and the entire universe is made up of the Panchabhutas, which are the 5 elements: earth, space, water, air and fire. So these Panchabhutas are literally the reasons why we are alive today. And also we conduct our everyday lives through the Pancha Indriyas, which are the 5 senses. So one way you can become much more receptive towards the energy and open up towards the grace of Mahashivratri is to be more conscious of the Pancha Indriyas, okay, which is when it comes to your eyes, tongue, nose, touch and also your hearing senses. Okay, so you can see what are you looking out to. This is something that helped for me a lot. I used to be somebody who looked at things compulsively. For example, if I want to look at Netflix, I would just binge watch Netflix like nobody's business. Okay, so you can see how consciously, you don't have to tell yourself, oh, I have to limit myself from this. Just consciously observe yourself. How are you watching these things? Is it really worth your time, your energy, your dedication and your work? So when you have that kind of awareness, soon the compulsivity comes down. And this is the same thing with what kind of things you hear, what kinds of things you speak, what kinds of things you are exposed to, what are the things that you come in touch with. At least for this 1 week, just be very conscious about this and what you consume as well. When it comes to your taste, when it comes to what you ingest, try to ingest food items that are more conducive for your digestive system. It is a known fact based on my own experiences that vegetarian food actually digests faster. Okay, because I used to be somebody who had a lot of digestion issues, and once I consciously chose not to have meat, and it was my own decision actually. I was not influenced by somebody or something and all that. It was my own decision based on my own self observation that certain food items just don't work for me anymore. They make me much more lethargic, and they affect my emotions and the way I function through my day. So you can do the same thing, just observe the kinds of foods that can be helpful for you. But a general prescription that I can definitely suggest is try having raw vegetables and fruits along with vegetarian items, and also incorporate nuts and the necessary proteins that you need at least for 1 week, and just see how your body feels like. When it comes to the Panchabhutas, you can do little activities actually with the 5 elements. If you know how to do the Bhuta Shuddhi, it would be great, and otherwise, when you look at nature, when you look at Mother Nature, she's already composed by these 5 elements, the air is already there, just breathe consciously and see how, it moves through your body. When it comes to water, drink your water consciously, revere the water that is keeping you alive. And when you light up a lamp or you have any fire source, see how the fire of passion within you ignites. When you walk on earth, see how you can walk gently and lovingly, and see that Mother Earth has been holding you for a very long time. When you look at the sky, see how vast and limitless it is, because that is the same thing with life. Life and its possibilities are limitless. So these kinds of things, when it comes to the Panchabhutas, you can see how you can incorporate and come in tune with them every single day. As part of this Panchabhutas, I would love to also recommend you to please join the Panchabhuta Kriya program with Sadhguru on Mahashivratri. More details will be provided in the description below. Actually, I did share in one of my shorts that I did attend the Panchabhuta Kriya program last year Mahashivratri as part of the Grace of the Yoga program, and how was my experience, correct? So you can refer to that as well, my little experience, but that experience has lasted over a very long time and it impacts me until today. So this is something that definitely I would highly recommend you to please do as part of your effort to become more open to Mahashivratri and also hereafter. Now the third step is one of the most important steps. Since we talk about Mahashivratri, which refers to Shiva, which means the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality, the highest divine that we can ever know, we call it as Shiva. In the Tamil Saiva tradition, we have the 12 Tirumurais, which were written by 63 very dedicated devotees of Shiva, and how they have devoted their soul, their life, their breath, their everything towards the path of Shiva and Shiva himself. They have become one with it, that they have left us with the 12 Tirumurais, which are the paths of devotion. And as part of this 12 Tirumurais, we have something called as the Thiruvasagam, written by Manika Vasagar Nayanar. And the opening of the Thiruvasagam is called Sivapuranam. And Sivapuranam is something that I have held on to for a very, very long time now. Those who can speak in Tamil and who are very used to the Tamil language, I think you must have known that Tamil is such a beautiful language. It is the language of love and devotion. And when you read Sivapuranam, it just hits you somewhere in the heart, knowing and realizing that life is beyond suffering it or surviving it or trying to make something out of it. There is something beyond what we can think as in this life, and it's our responsibility and initiative to see the divinity within and to go for higher possibilities, and to see that the divine, the grace of the divine is always there within us and around us all the time. It just humbles us and makes us see that it is part of everything that we come in touch with. So that is how the experience of Sivapuranam is. As part of the initiative for this Mahashivratri season, I have decided to release a few paragraphs or verses of Sivapuranam that mean the world to me, and every time I read them, they just bring tears to my eyes. So I will definitely release a series for Sivapuranam just to share with all of you how these verses can actually change your life. Now let's go into step 4, which is something very reflective on the other side, which is, since Mahashivratri is a day of awakening, of how you can go beyond your limitations, your fear, your suffering, your uncertainties, and everything that limits you from moving ahead in your own life, you can actually use this time to sit and reflect and see. I'm sure a lot of you love to do journaling, and journaling is something that has been a very personal experience for everybody. So definitely I would suggest for you to journal 3 things that you are willing to let go of. It could be anything. It could be a habit, it could be situation, or it could be a thought, something that it just will not work for you anymore. How you can willingly let go of them gracefully. You can take note of them, just 3 of them is fine actually. And these 3 things that you are willing to let go of has got to do with 3 visions that you want to make them happen by Mahashivratri 2026. So for an example, by Mahashivratri 2026, I envision myself to be free from my own mental chatter and overthinking. Okay, so for that, right now I have to be willing to let go of compulsively reacting to things that I have no control of. For an example, I cannot control what somebody speaks about me, or how they see me, how they understand me, how they take me as, and all that. It's not in my hands. Hence, I don't own their reactions, their words, their actions, and all that. Because I used to be somebody who overthinks these things, and I use them as self-validation. So by Mahashivratri 2026, I have kept in my vision that I should be free of my own mental sufferings and own the responsibility of how I want to keep my own emotions and thoughts. So this is one thing that I'm willing to let go of. So just like that, list 3 things that you're willing to let go of in accordance to 3 visions that you wish to make happen by Mahashivratri 2026. Now let's go into the last step, which is step 5, which is also something that is really beautiful. Depending on the region that you're staying at, I highly recommend you to please go to the Shivalayams, which are the Shiva temples. They have Arakalam pujas, which is the 6 timings. They do different Kala pujas for Shivalingam, and the offerings that is done over there, and how you sit in that presence. It is not only about the deity, or it's not only about a form. It is actually about yourself. When the process is being done on the lingam in the temple and all that, and when you sit in that presence, beyond prayers and beyond worship and beyond what you could ask for, if you could just sit silently and be in that presence in absolute devotion and delivering your whole self into that process actually happens within you as well, which is the most important part of Mahashivratri. It should be a very important thing over here, that when it comes to devotion, I'm not against prayers and wishes and all that, but then we have made our prayers and wishes oriented towards fear of surviving, fear of what would happen to us, what if we don't get this, what if it doesn't happen for me, and all that. So we have forgotten to learn that no matter what happens in life, I will choose to be graceful, I will choose to be blissful, I will choose how I want to be. If there is a prayer that you want to ever make, the highest prayer that you can ever make is to have the wisdom, the strength, the resilience, and the realization to choose how you want to be despite any kind of suffering, obstacle, and also struggles. So Mahashivratri is actually your own initiative for yourself, definitely facilitated by the grace of the divine. So with that, definitely I invite you to please join the live stream for Mahashivratri from the Isha Foundation. And if you're able to go to the Isha Yoga Center, please go. In my experience of attending the Mahashivratri program at the Isha Foundation last year 2024, I was actually very sick that night. My friends knew how I was, but then my preparation for that night didn't go waste. Many people ask me what Mahashivratri has got to do with the spinal region. It just doesn't make sense. This isn't science. This is bullshit. But I can tell you, the way Mahashivratri made me feel, I'm talking based on experience, yeah. I just forgot my sickness during the midnight hour. During the midnight hour, we have the midnight Sandhya Kala, 11:30 to 12:30, 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. Somewhere around that time, I actually forgot my sickness, and I gave my 100% into the midnight meditation, where all of us, we did the Om Namah Shivaya chant. And that time when I was at the foothills of Velangiri in front of Adiyogi, and we were in the presence of Sadhguru, I just, I was completely blissed out, and I felt a very strong energy starting from my foot up to my head, that it actually made me dance. It actually made me dance exuberantly. I just forgot who I was, where I was from, what kind of worries I had in my head and all that. So this is a real life experience that I'm mentioning over here. And the all night long celebration that we have at Isha, it makes sure that, we stay awake. When we are dancing and enjoying the night like a child, it makes us so innocent, and that innocence opens us up towards this divine grace, and receive that grace as it is, without trying to dissect it with our logical minds. So this is why I definitely highly recommend you to please go to the temples, or at least join the live stream from Isha Foundation. So I hope that whatever that I shared in this video will be very, very helpful for you, and definitely I look forward to making the Sivapuranam series for your benefit, and so that you'll be very helpful for your life. And definitely wishing you a blessed Mahashivratri 2025 to all of you. And please like this video, share this video, please comment how this video is helpful for you, and what else we can do for Mahashivratri, and how any reflections you have for Mahashivratri, definitely I'll be very, very happy and pleased to look into your comments. And most importantly, please subscribe to this channel so that we can grow together and make greater things happen. That's all for today. Sivaya Tiruchitrambalam. Namaskaram.